What's up guys, Tony here. Today we're going to be going over a couple of my favorite things about the infamous X100V. Let's go. Now I don't know if you guys could tell, but I actually just completely redid my office, and believe me, it's not for me. It's for you guys, so that you guys can have something nice to look at while you're watching this ugly mug and learning about some camera gear at the same time. So, you're welcome. Now, let's get into it, okay? So what I want to talk about today is a couple of my favorite things about the X100V, and not the X100VI, okay? Right here I have the X100V. I don't have the new body because they're impossible to find, okay? People are buying them and then selling them for $600–700 over retail price, which to me, absolutely insane. But they hold merit, and right now it's just a hot thing that people just getting into photography, or influencers or whatever, they just want to buy these things, and people are buying them realizing they're not what they're expecting, right? Because more often than not, people are buying these cameras expecting them to be able to make them a better photographer right out of the gate, okay? I can tell you one thing, this camera, it's not gonna make you a better photographer. I will tell you who I think this camera is for, what are a couple of my favorite things about it, and you guys can use your justifications on whether or not you think it's right for you. So let's dive in. So first off, the one main thing I love about this camera is the fact that it's so small, it literally fits in the palm of my hand, okay? And with that being said, if I'm out and about and I'm just doing some daily stuff, or if I'm going to New York City with the wife and we just want to walk around and I feel like snagging some photos while I'm there, and I really just don't feel like carrying my A7 IV and a 1635 or a 2470 or something like that to snap some photos with, then this is the perfect little thing, okay? This fits in my pocket, it's super easy to use, it's good on the fly, and it's extremely lightweight to the fact that I don't even notice it when it's in my pocket and I'm walking around, okay? Also, and I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this, but New York City isn't actually the safest place, okay? So sometimes I can be a little bit reluctant to bring some of my more expensive cameras there, so this guy is perfect for the job. My second favorite thing about it is the fact that I bought a little red button for it. I don't know, I just think it's cool. But no, my second favorite thing about this camera is the fact that it has so many different film simulations inside of it and options that you can create a certain look that you're going for within the camera. With that being said, the film simulations are not perfect. It's not editing your photo for you, okay? You're setting them to your justifications to make the best possible JPEG image or raw image that you can get out of the camera. But on the flip side, I personally love the fact that I can actually set a black and white film simulation, because personally, I actually really love shooting in black and white. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially when I'm shooting an engagement session or something of the other, and I just want to snag a couple images that really don't need to be edited, because to be honest, the black and white film simulations in this camera, if you adjust them correctly, they come out beautiful, okay? The fact that you can adjust the grain inside the camera, the tone curve to give a little bit of, a more, punchier shadows, the sharpness, the noise reduction, etc. I believe it's perfect for creating a look that you are happy with. It's amazing in that sense. And my next favorite thing about this thing is the aperture. Yes, it is a fixed 35mm camera, but the aperture range on this camera goes from f2 to f16. So you have the option to shoot all the way at f16, you have the option to shoot wide open at f2, and when you're shooting wide open at f2, you get a really nice, crisp, clear image with a nice shallow depth of field and some bokeh to go along with it. I just remembered one of my favorite things about the X100V is the fact that it has an in-body ND filter. So what that means is when I'm shooting and I'm outside, it's bright outside, the sun's shining, and I don't want to adjust my settings because I like the way this image looks. All I gotta do, boop, press a button, the ND filter comes on, makes the image darker. I don't have to adjust my settings because I love the way that it looks like this. Boom. Let's go over a couple facts about the X100V that might make or break it for you when it comes to buying it for your bag. Like I said, guys, this to me is a perfect camera for an addition to your bag. It's not necessarily going to be your everyday shooter. It's not going to be your main camera that you shoot with. First off, we all know the X100V is a 26 megapixel camera. Now, if you're somebody like me who shoots on an A7 III from time to time, this little camera has more megapixels than the A7 III. Now, the A7 III is a better camera overall. Frankly, in my opinion, if you're a professional, you're not necessarily going to be shooting on the X100V every day, but you can shoot on an A7 III every day as a professional camera. Being that you can change out the lens and all that stuff, and we're not going to get into that. It's for a completely other video. Another interesting thing about the X100V is the fact that you can shoot in different aspect ratios. You can shoot in 1:1, you can shoot in 3:2, you can also shoot in 16:9. So with that being said, if you're somebody who likes to shoot photos for their Instagram stories, I think it's a perfect little camera for you because you can shoot in 16:9 format and create a beautiful image that you don't have to edit. You can shoot the photo, send it to your phone, and then post it right up on Instagram in your stories, just like that. Super easy. I think one thing that we're all super familiar with is the fact that the X100V is not a full frame camera, okay? It is a crop sensor camera. Now, the fact that it's a crop sensor camera is not the end of the world, okay? I still believe that it's a perfect little camera that creates a beautiful image that you'll have no problem editing with or printing if you wanted to put something up on your wall. So one of the things that I personally really don't mind about it is the fact that it's a fixed 23mm camera, and the fact that it's an APS-C sensor makes it a 35mm equivalent camera. So if you're not somebody who enjoys shooting at a 35mm focal length, then honestly guys, it's probably not for you. So with that being said, there are a couple of adapters that you can buy for the X100V to make it a little bit wider or to actually make it a little bit tighter. I would say probably the equivalent of either a 28 or a 50mm lens. Lastly, I really want to get into who I think the X100 series is actually really for. Okay, whether it's the X100, the X100V, the VI, the F, the T, the S, whatever. Whichever one of the X100 series cameras you buy, I believe that you should actually have an understanding of photography and an understanding of cameras, and most importantly, an understanding of what editing does for your photos in post-production, right? Yes, can you take an amazing photo straight out of the camera on this thing? 100%. But to actually create that type of image in the camera with the film simulations, you have to actually understand things like the tone curve, like the clarity, the noise reduction, the sharpness, the white balance, etc. Everything. You have to understand everything about this camera. And if you're just getting into photography, you're more than likely not going to know enough about photography and enough about cameras to be able to create the images that you think you're going to get out of it. So in my opinion, I think the Fuji Film X series is for experienced photographers, people who know their stuff. Because a lot of times you'll see in people's videos that the camera, it didn't give them the image that they were expecting, or saying it doesn't live up to the hype, but frankly, I see no problem with it. I personally love it. I think it's a great addition to my bag, and I have a lot of fun with this little thing. It's an awesome camera. So guys, those are just a couple of my personal opinions on why I think it's an awesome camera to add to your bag. But again, everybody's different, okay? Take these opinions with a grain of salt. Do some research for yourself. Go rent one, buy one for cheap if you can. See if you like it. If not, get rid of it. It's not the end of the world. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you love these videos, and we'll see you next time. Peace.